Hey, we are here with Phillip Day, the no relation to Walter Day.
No,
the Twin Galaxies founder, and Galaga, Arcade Galaga World Champion.
Yeah, Galaga tournament.
Galaga tournament,
Yeah.
okay.
I say Galaga, but you say Galaga. No, what do you say?
I say Galaga.
Galaga.
But,
Yeah. I say Galaga.
Galaga?
Yeah. I think Australians say Galaga. I think because it's like sounds like lager. As a beer or galars. There's a bird called a galar in Australia.
Really?
Yeah, so it probably sounds a bit like that. Galaga. But
okay.
you say Galaga.
You know, I don't know what a
I'll say
Galaga is.
I'll say Galaga from now on.
Yeah, I don't even know what it is, so you might be right.
No, I'm sure everyone says Galaga,
Hey,
but for some
you're
reason.
the world champion.
Yeah,
so.
I know,
but you've had this record for how long?
just on a year, I think. Yeah, nearly a year now. Yeah, it was September last year, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great, and that's one of my personal favorite games ever. Actually,
Everyone says
that. No, it is. It is because it's fun. You know,
yeah, it's just wail away on the game. Just
sure,
get in there.
Sure. Actually,
smash
the other host, Nick Houslander, who couldn't make it to this trip, is going to be bummed because it is his favorite game of all time. So
I think it's the most bootleg game of all time, isn't it? It is a pretty popular game.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It was certainly popular in Australia. Like, it was funny, in Australia growing up, there was always Galaga machines, but I never saw a Miss Pac-Man machine, ever.
Really?
Never saw one. And Centipede, never saw one. I didn't even know you played it on a trackball. I never saw one. But Galaga, Galaxian, saw Donkey Kong from time to time, but not as popular. But basically ones where you shot stuff, like 1942, even those games later on.
Sure.
Anything where you, I think it was just that smash it around machine. You get it was like a pinball machine. You could get on, just really smash the buttons. Hyper Olympics and stuff like that. But those more finesse games, like Pac-Man or whatever, they weren't as common. They were still common, but not like Galaga. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it was very popular anyway.
Is this the only world record you have?
Yeah. It's the only one I've gone for. Yeah.
Okay. Now the question I always wonder with the arcade guys is, do you ever think about, since you've mastered Galaga,
I wonder where this is
point,
going.
do you ever think about just picking up the Nintendo and the Atari and all these other ones and grabbing a Galaga record on all these just to have them, or don't those mean much to you?
I think the thing with, like you're saying, with the because of the Galaga machine, just the way it works like an arcade, you really bash the buttons. But I remember on the old Atari as a kid, because it's like this, and you've got the button, it doesn't quite feel the same as, really, so it doesn't have that feel and that response. I mean, I'm sure it's good anyway.
Sure.
But same with those mains, I've played them on that. But no, I've never looked at any of those. The only game I was sort of interested was on, I haven't even played it, but I know it's here, I'll have a go, but on Xbox, Geometry Wars.
Oh, okay.
It looked like fun. I've never played it, I've never even seen someone play it, I've just saw a bit of it once on somewhere. But I've thought of going for having a crack at the marathon one, not just to put my name up there in the top 10, but I probably never will. I'm not as interested in the marathon scores. The idea of sitting on a machine for that long.
Well, and at this point, you can get Galaga on your Xbox, and you can get it on your PlayStation. You get it on, there's so many different versions. I was wondering, do you always just kind of look at it as, I got the real one, so.
You mean instead of a hierarchy? I suppose some people might say that, but I don't know. I think if there's people out there getting scores on games that, like I had a game of Joust here, and just recently was here, and that game's hard. I just find it hard, like just flapping those, like so someone else can get a score on that, or Street Fighter or some games I've never played. I just confused by, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those
absolutely.
things. So I've never been. The only game I really would like to have a go on, and wouldn't even be about getting a record, just learning to play it, was Defender. Because as a kid, you threw money in that and I just gobbled it away. So I never had enough money to learn how to play it, because I had all those buttons and you think, what do I got to press thrust, and I don't know what to do. And so I never learnt to play it, and I think it'd be fun to just learn to play it, but I've never have.
Are you making an announcement? Is that the next one you're going to go for?
No, well, I don't even have a Defender machine, so I don't even have my Galaga machine.
I was going to say, you did own your own Galaga machine.
Yeah, but I sold it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. I sold it after I got the record. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Stop me from playing.
No, I've talked to a lot of people, even just here today, who say that after they've gotten a record, they just almost feel like never playing that game again.
Yeah.
And is that how you felt with Galaga? Or?
Yeah, it was. I just didn't play it, and I remember I switched it on one day, and the rug screen came up, and that sort of noise, that wing, as it really switched on. It was a really weird, familiar sound again, and I started playing it, and it was comfortable to play. Like, it was all there, all the muscle memory and that, and it was quite therapeutic. But I just pulled the plug on it. And it's not because I suppose you enjoyed playing it, then you get the record. It didn't ruin it for me, but it just I don't know. just doesn't. It's just not there, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I'll end up having another game at some point.
You got to feel like mission accomplished at
yeah,
that
I
point.
suppose. Yeah, and if someone came and took the world record, I can't imagine I'd feel I'd need to chase it. You know, it's fun to have that world record, and if someone beats it, then fantastic. You know, there's some. You know, it's good that these things are kept alive. Like, I mean, I don't know who the guy is. Some guy in Japan, I think it was, who made the game. I mean, the fact that people are here talking about it today and setting scores. You know, what was it? 1981. I think it was. It was made in 1981. I think so. You know, it's what's that? Nearly 30 years later. Is that right? Have I got that right? Was it 1981? Yeah, it did. Yeah, 1981. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's, you know, you probably never thought that those games were just made to make a certain amount of money for a summer or a year and disappear forever. So in fact, if someone gets another score on it, fantastic. You know, that's what keeps these things going. But I don't think I'll do it.
What was your score?
3.2 million.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a bit more complicated actually. I got 3.4. Because who's the head guy at Twin Galaxies now? Is it someone Nelson?
David Nelson.
David Nelson, yeah. But I got 3.4 million. But I videotaped it on long play, so the pixel count was too low because it has it on the official rules, and I didn't realise this.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wasn't angry, just because you've got to have these rules somewhere.
Absolutely.
So anyway, but he housed it because they realised, you know, but they can't, which was fine. I said I'll do it again. So the second score was 3.2. The personal best is 3.4. So you can have a look. He's got it if you want to see the tape. But my actual one's 3.2. Yeah, the official one. Yeah.
Excellent.
3.2 million. I don't know what the thousands was. 3.2 something, whatever million. Yeah.
Excellent. You had mentioned, just another curious thing, you had mentioned to me off camera that in Australia they don't have the real decorative game systems in the one. Tell me a little bit more about that. You're starting to.
It was funny. In Australia, like all the the machines are the dedicated machines with all the fancy artwork up the side, because it looks really. I really like that. In some ways, I mean, that artwork was more exciting than the game to look at, you know, because they couldn't.
It's what draws you in.
Yeah, it draws you in. And some machines came out dedicated, like Gauntlet, because it was too hard to build the cabinet. So what they do is they'd ship out the screens and the circuit boards, and they'd assemble them in Australia. They built their own sort of cabinets. So they're really big, ugly looking cabinets. And they just have generic stickers of like some sort of lunar landscape and some spacecraft, some laser beams or whatever. And then there'd be a little plaque at the top about so big, and then they just slot the name in. So it'd say Galaga, then you play another one and say Pac-Man, or every now and then someone might they would, you know, like paint it themselves, like spray paint on some, you know, stencils of, Pac-Man or whatever. But a few dedicated machines came out, like Gauntlet, because of that reason. It was too hard to build. Dragon's Lair because of the laser discs, of course. But few and far between. I don't, you know, we had. I think you call them cocktail machines. And I think your ones here were sort of long that way, weren't they?
Somewhere.
The ones in Australia were like a coffee table that went that way, and we called them tabletops.
Okay.
And they were very common because
that's what we call them too.
Tabletops.
Yeah. I hear the cocktails what they seem to call them.
Yeah.
These days, when I was a kid, I called it a tabletop.
Yeah. And they were great because they always had them in takeaway shops. Like you'd get a hamburger and chips or fish and chips, and you'd have that sitting there, and you'd be drinking and playing.
Here they had them at all the Pizza Huts.
But I don't actually.
They're just covered in grease.
Curiously, like in Australia, no one trusted the credit. Like when you went up to an arcade and you wanted to have the next game, say. I'm playing, whatever, doesn't matter, Galaga, right? Or Galaga, sorry. I'm playing Galaga, and you want next game. Would you just stand and wait to get a game? How would you do it?
Yeah, usually, or you'd just walk away and
then come back.
Yeah.
Well, in Australia, we had this thing, it was kind of an honesty thing. If you were at a machine, and this is funny because those arcades weren't the friendliest places, but it was, you went and put your 20-cent piece on the machine, like a long time, and walked away. But that 20 cents was yours, and that meant you were going to play. And the way you'd identify it was you'd say that's mine, and you'd turn, because in Australia we're a Commonwealth country, so you have the Queen on one side, and on the other side there'd always be some animal like a platypus or something. So you'd say, you put the Queen there, and the next person would put their coin the other way, but you'd remember the date and say 1981, go, that 20's mine, because we'd play for 20 cents, you got a quarter. And then when your coin came up, but that meant if you had the coin there, that was your next go.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird.
Wow.
So anyway, I was just thinking about the different cultures
they
that
do
surround
that at
those.
the pool halls.
Yeah,
here.
pool halls. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do that.
No,
in pool
I never
tables.
saw that.
But yeah, that's how it was in the arcade. But the thing is, I wonder what made me think of it was because the cabinets. See, if you put 20 cents on the screen, it's going to slide straight off, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
But see, the cabinets in Australia were made where the glass was like that, and it had a key at the top that unfolded down, and therefore it had a little metal lid, and the coins could sit there.
Really?
So that's what made me think of it. The cabinets.
Oh, okay.
So because the cabinets were different made, you could do that, but you couldn't do it on yours. Yeah,
it would.
See what you missed out on. You know?
Yeah. That's an interesting aspect, though.
Yeah. But yeah, so all that decal art. The arcades are fairly, I imagine, dreary in comparison. Like the ones where you see, like I've seen video shots of Fun Spot and that, and all the
Yeah.
colourful screen, like the colourful artworks, and the machines were even some are red and blue,
Sure.
and the only other dedicated machines were like those games like the Sega Rally or Outrun. You know how you had an actual car and stuff. Those ones, yeah, they'd have those, but by and large, yeah, you didn't.
Not
no
a whole lot of that there.
No, mine wasn't dedicated. Mine's ugly. It looks like it's looked like a. You know when you got a Rubik's Cube when you're a kid, that was all neat. Mine looks like it's, been messed up and someone's pulled the stickers off and tried to cheat the game. It's an ugly looking machine. It's not, and it looks like it had other things in it once. They had pictures of Donkey Kong around the edges and Pac-Man and all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
You say you don't have that machine anymore, or you?
I sold it to after I got the score, and because I'm now living in Canada for a while, and I sold my house. So I was selling a lot of stuff, and I was selling the machine, and there was a few people who wanted to buy it, and then my brother-in-law bought it off me, so I sold it to him for the same price I paid. So I've still got it. So I know where it is,
Sure.
So, but yeah, I don't actually have it in my possession.
Yeah,
but they're everywhere here. I go to the airport in New York, and it's just Miss Pac-Man and Galaga machines.
There's only one that the world record was set on, though. And
that
is
it's all
yours.
way in Australia. And it's the ugliest one. Yeah, I don't think you'd want it donated to your museum. It'd be a very ugly machine. I'd be more than happy to donate it, but it's an ugly machine. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they might think it's
They
a
might
fraud.
reject it.
They never guessed that was the one. I'm
Well,
sure.
that's what the concern was. You got to get all the circuit boards checked, but the circuit board's legit. Yeah, and
it's not the box. Right?
the box is ugly.
No, it was an honor talking to you. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I think that's about
maybe
it.
I'll set another score in the future. See what
Yeah,
happens.
absolutely. I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope
see
so.
what I do. Learn to play defender first.
Yeah, play defender or go back out and practice joust.
Yeah, I'll give it up already. It's too hard. But they're both the same guy, aren't they? Eugene Jarvis, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, isn't it Eugene Jarvis who made those games? Yeah, Stargate. That's a game I want to play. Sorry, going over time.
Stargate.
No. Well, Stargate, it's even harder than defender. Is Robotron.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, that's a rare game. I mean, you don't see it around, but that's a great game.
The Ms. Pac-Man machine just cut out on me. I actually had the high score on the board, and it actually just shut off on me.
For the world record score?
No, not the world record. Just the one on me.
You're taking this very casually.
Just the one on me.
Just
I just beat the score that was on the machine.
I was going to say, if it was the world record, you would have beat the machine. Smashed it to a bowl.
But it shut off on me. So
that's a bummer.
be careful of the Ms. Pac-Man.
It doesn't have Galaga in it, though, does it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Because they've got Miss Pac-Man Galaga machines, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
I've seen those here. I don't know if those are official, boards or not, but you see a lot of those in the bowling. Yeah, the producer's saying no, those don't count for the world records, but that's what I think too. You got the Ms. Pac-Man Galaga. That seems to be a good marriage.
I think because they're both, is it Namco, isn't it?
Probably,
but I think they're the two. I think they're up in the two most popular games of all time or something.
Yeah, they got it.
Up in the top five anyway. Yeah. Well, I never played. Like I said, I never played Miss Pac-Man. I wouldn't even know what to do. I know you got to eat dots. But, she looks like Pac-Man with a bow in her hair.
Yeah.
Why is it that bow makes her look so sexy though?
I don't know. I know it's the women's liver.
It's like, I don't know.
I like Ms. Pac-Man better than Pac-Man.
Bugs Bunny always looks so good when he dressed up as a woman.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm confessing this. Eyelashes. You sort of got sexy.
Didn't
it always looked like you always put on a. It looked like a cashmere sweater or something. It always looked kind of sexy. Yeah, got a thing for Bugs Bunny as a woman. Miss Pac-Man as well.
How can't you have a crush on Miss Pac-Man?
Anyway, getting off the subject. Cheers.
Great to meet you.
Cheers, mate. Thanks, John.
Thanks.